Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show about Sonic news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan, and with me here to run just as fast as we fucking can is Devin.
Sir, you're magnificent.
I appreciate that Agent Stone line. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Speaking about magnificence, every now and then we create art. Now, granted, we create art weekly. That's what the Sonic Movie Show is. But I'm talking about the rare instances on the Sonic Movie Show where we go in and we design for you and us a video game, just brand spanking new, based off the Sonic formula.
State of the art.
Absolutely.
State of the art.
In the past, we've made a Sega console that is just objectively better than anything that will ever occur. It is both super and remastered. We've made a Sonic Resident Evil game called Sonic Resident Evil Grand Prix. We've done a Tales old school handheld Bible adventure game. We've made an Eggman Satisfactory type of base development management game. And there was one other thing I forgot that we made. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Whatever it was.
I thought, I don't remember. Did we give... It wasn't like an Amy game, right? I don't think we did that.
I don't
Amy
think
yet.
we made an Amy game. But you know what we're going to make?
There is another
today?
one that we're missing, but maybe that one didn't sell well, so it's okay.
We'll see. You know what we are going to make today, though? You said it. Making an Agent Stone game. I guess first off,
I did say that. I don't know if we said it on a podcast previously. We might
somewhere.
have. Somewhere it happened in the ether of the internet. Like I'm just really imagining, at least surface level, an Agent Stone game where you are Agent Stone. I think that's the thing. Or he's your like direct supervisor, maybe. But I know we really loved Agent Stone as an owner of a coffee shop in the Sonic sequel. And I feel like that's where our game should at least be set in. Maybe it's a simulator game. You know, there's a lot of those kind of like simulator games where like the gravity's a little wonky or the physics are a little wonky.
Sure.
Cooking games or just those kind of things. So I'm imagining maybe something like that, but maybe it's not that at all. I don't know. That's just kind of my general idea is like, at least foundationally, it revolves around the coffee shop, Agent Stone's coffee shop, which if I remember correctly, was it called?
It was called The Mean Bean as a reference to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine video game. So that's kind of tying it in there. I guess my first question is...
Mean Bean Coffee Cafe. Yeah, full time.
If we want to compare this to games that already exist, is this... There's like, I think, 3 different things we can do. Either straight up Diner Dash, which is restaurant management. You're taking orders, you're fulfilling orders.
Right.
You're the one-man show for the whole thing. You're Agent Stone. That's all he can do. Is this a puzzle cooking mama type game where we're making coffee? And I imagine he's got like, some pastry type stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Or is this like a narrative fulfillment kind of visual novel game like Coffee Talk or Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action, one of those types of games? I think if we can decide the specific coffee genre, that we can...
the coffee genre of video games.
Exactly.
I mean, who's to say it can't be a little bit of everything? I don't know if that's possible, but I mean, we've created things that no one thought was possible.
You've created things that people still don't think are possible, yet they're out there as games you can play right now on your Sega Super Remastered console. I think we just said it was like extremely expensive just because, right?
Well, to be fair, it can do everything. So that's why it's expensive. I mean, listen,
that's
the
right.
things that are in this thing.
Other console games, like modern ones, it would just work.
You could put a Switch game in it, and it will just work.
Stick it in the little CD slot.
There's a little slot.
Works.
There's still a slot. Yeah.
It's like those like late 2000s, early 2010s like SD card readers where like for a computer where it was wide because it could fit so many different types in there. You know what I mean?
It has one of those on the back that you could put all the different SD cards in there.
Exactly.
If you
and
want.
Switch is one of those. And
Switch
the
is one of them.
PSP memory stick duos and exactly. Any case, this is a full-fledged $70 video game, $100 video game for this console. If we're trying to do all 3 of those genres, I can see it being split up where like so like the diner dash element was the franticness of lots of customers coming in. There's like 3 different stages to them. They sit down and they're waiting to order. They need to then eat, and then they need to pay. There was multiple stages. I forget exactly how it worked.
But you needed to drop like you need to grab the ingredients in this section of the room. Then you had to go to this section.
Yeah, it was constantly.
Or you
running around.
you only had so many of ingredients for X number of items, so you had to like kind of micromanage that. But I feel like that kind of game is like you can't be thinking too much. You kind of have to just be reacting and knowing where things are.
It's kind of like playing Pac-Man or something, where you're just staring at the one screen and you're like there and there and there and there, and you're just going. But we want to be a little bit more than that, so that's how we have our other 2 genres. So then, let's say our customer base is a little bit slowed down so that we can react with other elements here. We see some people coming in. We place their coffee orders. Maybe they come up to the counter. Maybe they sit down. Maybe we need to decide.
Well, I think where they like at least I forgot which one it was called, but the third option we had, which was more of like a visual novel kind of style, or at least like what you're getting from the game is a relationship building mechanic in some way. Maybe you have a good relationship with your boss. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have a good relationship with this one customer who comes in every Monday. Maybe you don't. So I feel like if we can add that, I feel like that'd be interesting, because we still have to do the normal orders, but maybe you can have a conversation with someone, or maybe you have a regular in. Maybe we have some characters, like some important characters who come and visit the shop frequently.
Right. They're like,
and you can build relationships with them.
Yes, and one of them's a ghost. I like that idea. Okay, so we'll just call them fodder customers right now, the ones that aren't ones that you can kind of tell are important people. And then we have the regulars that come in. You know, maybe how it is that we can determine if this is in Green Hills, Montana, the place that Sonic the Hedgehog lives in that was attacked by Robotnik twice. That's a lot of tourism. So we have tourists that are just, you'll never see these people again. And then we have the local townies. We have the Toms. We
Crazy
have the
Carl.
Wades. Crazy Carl. So this is definitely in the Sonic movie universe, which, I mean,
oh yeah, for
Agent
sure. It's a tie-in. It's a spin-off. It's a spin-off.
But it
is canonically correct. Like it's connected and everything.
Yep, 100%. Which means the secret ending to the game, if you do it perfectly, like the hardest person, the hardest like regular to build this relationship with, and this requires you to like S rank everyone else, like max out their social links like it's a Persona game. The last one is that military Olive Garden guy. And when you max him out, then it unlocks the special secret ending where it teases the shadow stuff for the third movie. Because remember, he went underground.
What if the first ending for the game ends like right before the events of Sonic 2? Like you get fired, like it doesn't matter what happens, you somehow get fired, or like business isn't booming, or something happens to where you're forced to leave and the game ends, and that's why Agent Stone is by himself when Eggman arrives.
Oh, I was thinking we were playing as Agent Stone.
We don't have to. I can see it being like, Stone. You want to play as Agent Stone, or do you want
because it's a solo.
Agent Stone.
He doesn't have any this is canon. He doesn't have any employees.
But how cool would it be that this whole time he did, and then something happened, and there's a whole other B plot that we don't even know about.
Is Amy. All right, we've tied her.
No, I meant like you can make your own character.
Okay.
We talked about this before. We were talking because we played the Street Fighter 6 beta there, or early access, whatever it was, and I was more impressed by the character creation than anything. And I was telling you, I'm like, how I feel like there's a guaranteed X number of copies you can sell if you just make a good character creator, like guaranteed 500,000 copies, because all the YouTubers are going to buy it, all the knuckleheads are going to buy it.
Right.
So I feel like if we add that, we're guaranteed 500,000 copies.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. Here's my pitch. We don't have to go with it though.
Okay.
Here's my pitch. Agent Stone is like your boss, and this is a summer job. You're 15 years old, whatever, in Green Hills. You go to high school. It's whatever, but like this is your first job. This is a summer job. You get paid $7.25 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is in Montana. I'm sure it's low.
I'm sure it
um,
is.
so maybe like it's like Persona where there's a time limit. Like there's a ending to the game based off the calendar dates. So maybe
Right.
this game takes place over 3 months because you're
Okay.
going to college. There we go. That's the reason he's not there,
Okay.
or our character isn't there. Your character because you're going to college in September.
Okay. Okay.
I just like that. It's a little bit because it's a little bit different. Everyone wants to be Agent Stone, but that's how we like. It's a little
Well, then
different. It's
that's
like
what
no,
the
you're
sequel
gonna
will
learn to
be.
appreciate Agent
We
Stone.
ever get
Yeah,
to
you
make
can
a
be Agent
sequel?
Stone
Yeah, sure.
or DLC or something. Yeah,
Something. Yeah. Okay, I'm done with this. All right, so we have a character creator.
it's
Then
a
we
little bit
can name our
different, you know.
person. The visual style of this game, I'm expecting something a little bit cartoony, just because I feel like it kind of makes
Sims
a
kind of
cooking
style.
game type of look. Is this 3D? Is this 2D? What's the camera perspective like? Is this only top down, like a Diner Dash? Is this like kind of like a somewhat moving 3D camera thing, but still kind of top down, like an Overcooked? Is this kind of just like facing, like, not first person, but like you were as the head level facing out towards the
Right.
customer, like Valhalla, Cyberpunk, bartending action, whatever.
I mean, I was definitely thinking 3D, but now that I think about it, it would be kind of cool if it was top down 3D because I feel like it's a little bit different. But then when you talk to people, yeah, like Persona, like you have the it pops up and then it's all in text. So that way we don't have to get the voice actors.
Absolutely.
And
And
the
heck,
voice actors.
if it's cartoony,
It'll just be
we don't even need Agent Stone's likeness.
It'll be we just need we just need people to do 3 different voice lines.
Right.
Oh. And all those different kind of just vague emotions. We can hire one person to do
Right.
that for all of them.
That's the industry term, vague emotions. I made that.
Oh.
Young, mature, old, or whatever the Street Fighter voice
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're top down, pixelated art style, I'm thinking, because that just sells with these types of games. I feel like I even think
it's
like
gotta be
Stardew
cute.
Valley.
It's gotta be
even,
cute.
You know what I mean? Okay. So we get customers in. Each day has a set, like each day is planned out in terms of how we design the game. So we have 4 tourists and 1 important character for the first couple. Like we kind of varied a little bit, but we're having like maybe 6 or 7. This is the number 7 I'm holding up with my fingers. Audio listeners, check us out on YouTube and you can see all my fingers except for these
All
3,
7 of them. All 7 of them.
Exactly. Do thumbs count? I don't know.
Yes,
6 or 7 important characters that they're townies, they're regulars, right? And when they come in, like, you have the option to engage with them and talk. Maybe sometimes they're grumpy and it's actually in your best interest not to engage, you know what I mean? You start to learn what their favorites are. Maybe, Crazy Carl comes in every Tuesday. You make his order before he even walks in. You know what I mean?
The night before, and you put it in the microwave.
Well, not
something.
that, not that. But I mean, like,
but you could cheat the system.
To time it correctly so that it's just coming off the thing when he walks in, because
it'd be cool if like the game in game you have like maybe an additional 15 minutes, because I'm assuming like there's a day and night cycle to the game, but it's obviously
we're not working at night. Right?
He was open at night. He closes at 5, whatever the time is. Let's say
whatever.
5 o'clock. I know. Yeah, a lot of coffee shops, I guess, open like early, so it'll be like 5 a.m. to, let's say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. But I would say like IRL, it's like, let's say 10-minute passes. That's been maybe 2-3 hours in game, whatever it is. It's gotta be moving a little bit quick, but not too quick, like you said. I'm imagining like the very beginning, you come in early and you have 30 minutes in game before you need to open the doors. So that way, Crazy Carl's coming.
Okay.
That's when you prepare his coffee ahead of time because he'll be there at 9 o'clock sharp or whatever.
And then in this time frame, we can also challenge the player by having, setting up the shop and decorating. Oh, you didn't know it was the Montanan festival, day?
Oh, that'd be cool.
You didn't have the stuff set up. So now everyone has a little bit less whatever, social points coming in. Also,
that'd be
just
cool.
a side note, whether this is like a mini game or just a aspect of the game that isn't important, because I feel like it'd be hard to really like uh, numerically score this in a way that's fair. But you saw in the movie how he was doing the foam art. We let people do that too. If you're using a controller,
Oh, yeah.
if you're using one of these bad boys, we actually do the two sticks to control the two things. Because remember, he was that skilled. You know what I mean?
Doesn't the Sega Super Remastered have a touchpad? I think it does.
It has everything, my guy. It has everything. I actually
So
don't
you
remember
could add-
what we
you-
said the
you-
controller looked like.
You could pull the you could pull out the touchpad that
I
comes
think
with
we
it,
said
I'm
it had
sure.
a touch screen on it because it was also the handheld or something, right? I don't remember.
It's
Yeah.
both a handheld and a full giant console. But
Yeah.
there's a touch screen to some capacity that you can make foam art on. Yes.
Exactly. And then obviously, well, I mean, it's not available on PC because we're on the Sega Super Remastered, obviously. But
It's
you know,
basically a PC
I can
too.
I
so
can
you don't
see
need to
the
worry about
mouse.
that.
I
Yeah.
can see the mouse being used for that on some indie game, for sure. Okay, so we have the basic idea that we're getting regular tourist customers. You just fulfill the orders. Oh, regular, person that actually lives in this town comes in. You have the option of engaging with them in conversation or not. We have some dialogue tree stuff. Maybe you have the option of making or naming certain drinks after some people. Maybe some people like that. Maybe some people don't like that at all. Maybe they'll hate certain ones if you named this after me, if this or that. We have all
It'd be
that
cool
stuff
if
in
like
there.
it'd be cool too if like there is maybe one character who every time they come in they say, "Oh, whatever you think," and then like to play. Because I imagine this game will be a lot of replayability. The game takes
Sure.
place over 3 months, right? It's a summer job, and there's different endings, like we suggested at the top, with
Good
one true
10
ending.
weeks.
You
Yeah.
get 10 weeks in game, and I think it'd be cool that like maybe depending on what you give that character, first, second, third in line, that maybe unlocks different things that you don't even realize, that the player doesn't realize. You know what I mean? That like there might be one ending that you can only get if you give them
Multiple endings.
if you give them a frappuccino at the very first drink, but they won't know that unless they replay it a bunch. And then there's gonna be the fans, because there's gonna be a ton of them, are gonna like write guides and
Because
stuff
remember,
down the line.
not everyone
Yeah.
is going to be able to max out everyone's social things. Like I watched this super long, very in depth, and very excellent video essay review on like one of, if not the original dating game, Tokimeki Memorial Forever with You on PlayStation 1. And like it is very hard to max out all these girls. You know what I mean? It's extremely hard, right? So we have the game kind of similar to that, where maybe there's some drama or whatnot. So it's very hard. So most players are not going to have everyone maxed out, even to get the true ending, let alone to get endings with any of them as customers. But talk about replayability. It's 10 weeks over the course of the summer. You ain't got any school, right? We come in, and it begins with the end of your interview. And Agent Stone did the interview, and he says,
Ooh, yeah.
what do you want your 2 days off in the week? You get to set them. Certain customers
Oh,
only come in on certain
shit.
days. So you set ahead of time, I'm off Saturday, Sunday, because that would be great. Well, guess what? Pete only comes in on Saturdays. So you're never... And he's like maybe
You
not
never
one
get
of
to
the main
encounter Pete.
guys, but yeah, there's that type of element to it. Oh, you didn't... You said Tuesday's your day off? Well... Groundhog Day is in February, but you get the idea. This holiday is on a Tuesday on the 4th week. You know what I mean?
In the character creation, can we ask can the game ask the player, be like, "When's your birthday?" And maybe that affects something in some way, that like, oh, you work a shift on your birthday, and your mom comes in and like surprises you or something, and you're not expecting it. But then maybe you get something. Maybe there's a special item you get. She gives you a gift that you can use to give to another customer or something down the line, like that kind of stuff, like that, like cool little Easter egg kind of things, where it's like, hey, if you do these 3 things, then you can have the ability to unlock this customer to come in, and that will give you this, and that will unlock this thing or this storyline or this plot line. So I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, I definitely like the idea of there being like maybe I would say up to like 15 like regulars.
Okay.
And they could be made up new people that we're not going to sit here and
Right,
go
'cause
through.
all I'm
But
really
just
remembering
like
is Tom, Maddie, Crazy Carl, and Wade, And
But I'm saying we can make up new ones
Right,
that
right,
like
right.
because we don't ever see really like. I mean, there was all those kids at the freaking baseball game. Throw one of them in it, like you know what I mean,
Well,
like
they
whatever.
drink coffee though.
But they're visiting their friend. That's that they're at their.
The baseball coach taking the team in for scones. You know what I mean? Everyone's, you got to make
Yeah.
the fucking scones for
Yeah.
these 12.
Maybe you have one friend. I think there's got to be like one character that you will for sure like visit all like frequently at random times. And I think that is like it's got to be like your best friend or something. I think there needs to be a best friend who just comes in and is just like always supportive, so they like always leave you a tip or something.
Right.
Or they don't even order anything sometimes. Maybe they're just coming in to talk and they tell you different stuff that like, hey, Bobby said this, blah 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 blah. So when Bobby comes in, you could bring it up or you can hide that knowledge. And then that's where the drama lore comes in. You know what I mean?
That is literally the purpose of the best friend in Tokimeki Memorial. You can call him up and he'll tell you what certain girls like or dislike and stuff. Okay.
There you go.
Now, this game is already, I think, decently complicated in a good way. Like, there's enough going on there. So we have to ask the question now. This is a job, and we're doing it for money. Do we have some sort of other thing where, like, you're earning wages, and are we spending it? Like, are we tracking money at all? Like, obviously, the goal is to maybe have enough money for X at the end of the summer. Sure, just maybe as just a narrative. But
maybe there's like a goal. You don't have to, but a goal that like going to college, you really want your car, so you're saving up for a car. You can choose not to. There's other items you can buy. Maybe you have a good relationship with one of the customers coming to the shop. You can buy them gifts, but the gifts are a little pricey. Maybe you can give your best friend the new Xbox or the Sega Super Remastered.
Well, that's what it's
potentially.
Gonna be.
Yeah, yeah,
that's real expensive. So
yeah. So like stuff like that. Like maybe that's how you unlock different endings. Is like, what are you spending your money on? But I think there should be like, hey, maybe you get one vacation day in the game, and that means you get to go with your friends to a Darien Lake equivalent, an amusement park, and you can save up. You know that Johnny, your one friend, is having a birthday party, and you should go to this amusement park or the movies with them. Do you save your money for that? I don't know. So I think something like that would be interesting. And I would imagine you can only make purchases like after your shift. Maybe it's kind of like, I know we keep using Persona, maybe we shouldn't, but just like, I don't really see there being like a place where you're walking around. I think there should just be like you have a phone in the game and like there's an Amazon equivalent and you're just ordering stuff and then you just get it the next day. Right. So like at the end of your shift, you have unlimited time to like make your selections or think about what you want to spend your money on. Or maybe there's a bank account you can put it in and it has like 1% interest or something like that.
Instead of the next day, let's make it the day after. Because there's that plan ahead element to these types of games that I think is important. That's like that's peak walkthrough level of like, all right, on the 13th, make sure you order the thing here if you want this.
Make sure you order the umbrella because it will rain, kind of thing.
Yep, absolutely.
There's like a hurricane that will come through.
Ooh, and then crazy. Every day the shop has a special. One of the items is cheaper on,
it's Prime Day or something.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So I think that'd be cool. Like you can buy different outfits for your character, and that's just totally optional. That won't affect anything, maybe, or maybe that does affect it. Maybe like, hey, one of your looks. Yeah, that your friend might think you look stupid, or they'd be like, hey, you look really cool, and now you have better relationship meter with them or whatever. How we're using that to
relationship meter increased.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've settled on the kind of social aspect. We're not going to write the dialogue or anything.
Well,
like that.
I want to say one last social aspect. One social aspect I want to say is that because we got to remember this is an Agent Stone game. I don't want to forget about him. I think that's a whole other separate thing, where you still have to have a good relationship with him. You have to do your job well, because if you get fired, it's game over. Right? Like that's the whole point of the game is to do the job and go to college. And if you get fired, your parents aren't going to be happy with you. Whatever. It's just you don't want to lose. So like, you have to make sure that whatever you're doing with these other people, as long as it doesn't piss off Agent Stone.
And that mostly I feel like comes down to your execution and progress in the actual like making the orders correctly and making sure customers
and not
come
showing
back.
up late or whatever, or
Sure.
like, hey, make sure to sweep the floors before the end of your shift, because you get 30 minutes maybe at the end after you close to like clean up everything, because your older sister or older brother, whatever sibling, comes to pick you up. That's why you don't have a car. So you can't stay as long as you want to do all the extras, because your brother doesn't want to wait. He wants to go to the party down the street.
Right.
He's gonna, you know what I
Your
mean? He wants to go
brother's an asshole.
do drugs.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got
Oh yeah,
you.
the brother's definitely an asshole. I like that. That's a classic
Yeah,
arc
yeah,
right there.
Of course, of course. Okay.
But you can build a relationship with them if you're always on time and you say the right dialogue trees on your way home.
So moving on to the execution standpoint of the gameplay stuff, we're making drinks, and there is a probably equally sized complication or complexity of making the pastries and those types of things.
The breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
gonna be like bacon, sausage, maybe like a vegan patty or something like that, and then there's croissants, bagels.
How I'm viewing that is like
toast.
you have limited oven space, right? So
Right.
like you're kind of trying to decide what you even want to make ahead of time, because that stuff has to. It's not like a coffee where you can make it in front of them. Croissant has to bake. They bake, right? Yeah, it's bread. You bake
Yeah.
bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had one of those besides like the Pillsbury.
Really? They're good. They're just a little messy, but they're good. I like them. They're sweet.
So you're deciding what stuff to make, which means you're deciding that menu for the day. So you decide that when you basically first come in, because you got to get that oven preheated before you even start setting up shop. So you
First
set all
thing
that
you should be
stuff up.
turning on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have the griddle for like the ham or whatever, or the egg that you're putting in those breakfast sandwiches. And then we start the coffee. We would need now just admission point here. I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee. I like the smell of ground coffee beans or coffee beans in general. I do not like the taste of coffee. How are you?
I can have it. It just goes through me like quicker than anything I ever can, like anything else I drink. Like I drink chai. That's how I get my like kind of caffeine, because it's a little bit less. Maybe I don't know if that's true, but it feels a little bit less than what coffee gives me. I don't feel as jittery, and it doesn't run through me as quick.
Really?
It still makes me like have to pee, maybe like quicker than if I just drank water or even just a soda even. I like chai a lot more because I just like the flavor more than coffee.
See, I get my caffeine fix from Cherry Coke Zero. Please sponsor me, Coke. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, we're not big coffee enthusiasts, I think is safe to say. So like, I can say we have a dozen different coffee drinks that we can make. I don't know if that's accurate to
there's different things you can add to it, like vanilla.
Sure,
right?
there's
or,
add-ins and stuff.
Different
but there's
beans,
different
maybe
bean
there's
types.
decaf.
Yeah,
there's decaf. There's regular bean. Maybe we do a chocolate mocha. So there's some chocolate you can get.
Right. And then like
I don't want there to be too many. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there should be no more than like
I think it should be complex enough that
15
it's
different
possible
drinks
to
you can
screw up
make.
the game though.
Yeah,
Like, we want to
15
make sure
drinks, I
there's
feel
a
like you can make.
challenge. Yeah. And like you then have to execute that with the different steps, and they're very basic, but it's the time crunch that's forcing you to move quickly, and therefore mistakes can easily be made. And then like, oh, you just pissed off this customer, they ain't coming back, that type of thing. Okay. And then we're getting paid weekly. But we need some way. So obviously, at the end of the day, we tell them their results of like, here's your score or whatever. Like how many
you
customers,
get a B or whatever.
Yeah, how many, and it's like you get points based off how many customers liked it or whatever, that type of stuff. And then Agent Stone gives you his verdict. You remember? So you've played Pokemon before. You remember you would like go to the PC and there'd be an option that'd be like have Professor Oak rate your Pokédex. It's something like that where he comes in at the end, or like Pokemon Snap, where Professor Oak, after every session of taking photos, he reviews all of your photos and tells you what he thinks of them. We have something like that with Agent Stone, where he pops up at the end and tells you what he thought about your daily performance, and he gives you a letter grade score based off what he's seen.
I mean, I feel like the only issue, now that I'm thinking about though, with us not being Agent Stone, is that like I feel like he's not the kind of guy who'd be like in the office, like in the boss's office. I feel like he likes to make coffee and like makes he shows that in the second movie and the first movie where he makes the goat milk there coffee.
You know why
so,
he's
like,
not able to make the coffee? He's in the secret lab in the back of the coffee place, working on Eggman
he's working.
stuff.
He's constructing.
He's trying to find the doctor. He's trying to find him. Because remember, think about the second movie, and like we can nitpick that movie. I don't think this is really a nitpick. He's somewhat surprised that Eggman reached out to him at all. But he doesn't have this like, I thought he died. Like, he doesn't have that. So we tell the story of why he thinks that he's alive. So we have him look through him. He's spending the whole summer searching for Dr. Eggman, that he can't handle running the coffee shop. He can't help all the customers. That's why he's hiring someone for summer temp work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes out at the end of the day.
But he has a passion. We have to make sure we show his passion, though, for the product and for the business. Though I don't want to feel like he's just a mad scientist in the back. You know what I mean? Who gives us a paycheck and calls it a day?
New coffee things, for us. That's the kind of how
maybe every couple weeks he's like, oh, I have a brilliant idea, and then he, whatever the name of the new drink is, make sure to put it on the menu. So that's up to you to put it on the menu. And then, that can help
and the idea
increase
is that he's working the 2 days that you have off. Like,
right.
he's running it on those 2 days. So, yeah. Oh.
Should there be like a room?
Okay.
Should there be a room that like you can't access ever?
Right, and that's where
but you can always like listen to or peek in. You can get little like excerpts to kind of like hint at like what he's looking at. And then for the Sonic fans, this is where like the cool lore comes in.
To go back to the social stuff. Again, because you have 2 days off, he works those days, and because you can decide those, you hear different things. So we hear afterwards what he's been told by some of the regulars about you. Like, oh, I hear crazy Carl has good things to say about you. Like, or, oh man,
they asked if you were in today, something like that.
Exactly. Or like, you really screw up. Oh, crazy Carl is happy you're not here. Why would that be?
He said he ain't coming on Tuesdays anymore because you keep messing up his latte.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. So, I feel like we've defined the gameplay pretty well. I
want to play the shit out of this.
Honestly, yes.
Like, I know we said about all the games we've made, but like this one, most of them. But like this one,
this would be fun.
Feels like it'd be a fun 30-hour kind of game that you replay a lot.
Right.
know.
Yeah, this would be good. It needs a name. Now, I think the very basic thing to do is call it Agent Stone's Mean Bean Cafe.
Mean Bean Coffee Cafe, whatever the name is of it. Yeah, I think that's what it says here. Yeah.
Well, I think it was just called the Mean Bean on the shop, like on this one, like in the movie. But regardless, we can either call it, Agent Stone's Mean Bean Cafe, Mean Bean, whatever. Or we can just think of a more funny or more clever, not funny, more clever name for it.
I'm just trying to think, what would be a good, I'm trying to pull from, the visual novel kind of titles. What would it be called, My Life, or, something like,
My Life as Agent Stone's Coffee Temp Workers. Long-ass title. I like long titles.
Green Hills Summer Job, something like that. You know what I mean? Just something like that. But Summer Job makes it seem like it could be any job, so I feel like it has to tie in the word.
I also feel
My
like
Green Hills, My Green Hills Coffee Summer Job, something like that. But I feel like, or do we want to market Agent Stone more?
I was going to ask, do we want to have Agent Stone in the title at all? But we're not playing Agent Stone.
Agent Stone and I.
That sounds like a romance thing.
Maybe you can romance Agent Stone.
Maybe no, he has eyes for the doctor. Remember?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Temporarily titled Agent Stone's Mean Bean Cafe. I think it's just fun.
I feel like it's fine. It's yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Agent Stone.
Agent.
Do we get an agent title? Do we get an agent title? In our name, whatever name we give it, we have to have the word agent in front of it.
But the Doctor gave the title Agent Stone, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know. Okay, here's how it works. The secret ending, where, like, if you get them all, he ropes you into the actual behind-the-scenes business at the end and gives you your agent title. And it's just agent and then whatever your name was. Because you just type it out, right?
Yeah.
So you get roped in at the end. Like, you're a part of the thing. They're like, oh,
I like
you're
that.
you're going to college for interstellar communication? I could use that. You know what I mean? Why didn't you tell me that before?
Yeah, that's one thing you can't change in the game, is that you are for sure going to college for interstellar communication. Some sort of really big worded, like, title for just space shit. Like, you know what I mean? Or astrophysics or something like that for sure. I think that'd be really funny.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a full price video game for the Sega Super Remastered console.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need anything else for this game? I think we kind of nailed
The only
it.
thing I could think of is, like, if we ever made a sequel or like DLC, I feel like you can do a new character in, like, it's an alternate universe, so it's not canon, but, like, you can do the same, but it's in, like, a new area. So maybe it's, I don't know, in San Francisco or whatever the other locations from the Sonic movies. Maybe you could do one on the Mushroom Planet, and there's, like, mushroom people.
Place, the Siberian, like, lodge. It's for all.
Yeah, maybe you open a coffee shop there, and it's just all of them. That's the only thing I can think of, but I don't know if that'd be.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, the way we're kind of ending it, if we wanted to follow our character's story, if they got, and, like, this would be one of those games where, like, the sequel assumes the secret ending, the true ending is the ending that it takes as canon. Like, we're a part of Agent Stone's thing. You know what I mean? We're in that. We're hunting for Shadow.
I think the sequel would have to be you work at, like, the Starbucks on campus. But then there is, like, you're getting text messages from Agent Stone that you need to, like, find intel on things or whatever. And maybe there's certain characters on campus that know that information for some reason.
It's mostly the same original gameplay, but we have segments where somehow, in, like, an adventure game style, you know, like almost point and click, you're trying to infiltrate, you know what I mean, and figure puzzle stuff out like that to try to get information.
Yeah, that's, I think, would be a cool sequel. It's like, oh, you're going to university now, and, like, but for some reason, the general there from both Sonic movies, the Olive Garden general, his daughter goes to the same university, coincidentally, and maybe, just maybe, Agent Stone knew this the whole time. You know, they can add that to it. Like, was Agent Stone knowing from the beginning that you were going to this college, and that's why they hired you?
Right.
Because they know that we need to get intel from the general.
Okay. I think we have seeded a sequel pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a development for another day.
We'll see. I think we'll have to wait till after Sonic Movie 3, if we ever remember about this episode, to see, like, the tie-in with Agent Stone and Shadow, I think, because then we can develop a sequel more of, like, the lore. Because
that's the thing. These games are coming out between movies, right? This game comes out between 2 and 3, and
this game comes out this summer, so
absolutely on the first day that absolutely, 100% agree, 100% agree. Okay,
first day of summer, it's coming out because it's a summer game.
Well, I think we nailed it. Anything final we want to talk about for this game?
Maybe you could unlock outfits for Agent Stone that are based off from the movies or something.
Okay. All right. And pre-order DLC is a hat. Okay. There's always something stupid like that. You know, pre-order this
you get
DLC.
A coffee cup, a washable coffee cup that's has the logo, the Mean Bean logo on it or something that you can
pre-order Agent Stone's Mean Bean Cafe to instantly unlock 5 of Gollum's iconic emotes and phrases.
I feel so bad for those people, man. Like,
I do.
Even if they're like committed, being like, "Hey, we think this is a good idea," whatever. I think that's the first game I've ever seen, like, collectively that people are just like, "Why?" Like, who was like, "Why does, like," were people asking, like, "Hey,
I don't even know what
you know what I really want to be? You know what I want to be in a video game? Gollum."
No, that I would read a book about him, but I don't want to play him. Let's wrap this up. We're the Sonic Movie Show. You can catch us on YouTube, bunch of podcast places. on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the like at Sonic Movie Show up there. Let us know if you would play this game. If you have any suggestions for how to improve the gameplay. Theoretically, this is a 10 out of 10 amazing video game, as all these theories are.
Perfectly
Pretty soon
executed.
you'll be able to buy it, maybe. No, you won't. Follow me on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Devin's over there on Twitter at CursonaFun. Yeah, let us know what you think. And I guess we'll see you next week for just, we'll just hang out again. Two of us and you.
Something will happen. Something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe something will happen. Wink. You see, this way now they think something will happen. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.